Your brain craves completeness. This is intellectual operating law number 4. I don't know if you ever DVR, record TV shows, but let's say it's a season finale. You're really interested in this show and you record it and you get all the way to the last 5 or 6 minutes and all of a sudden the DVR cuts off. This is frustrating. Maybe there was a football game, a news story, you didn't know, and you missed the last 5 minutes. This is absolutely frustrating. Advertisers know that your brain craves completeness. Let's say you hear a news story, you're watching TV, you hear a news story, massive earthquake, and you see these buildings rumbling, details at 11. Well, you're probably going to wait till 11 to fill in the gaps on what they've created there. Well, your brain wants to know the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It hates inconsistencies, gaps, and incongruency, especially in the important things in life. The challenge is especially in this day with rapidly advancing information, it is impossible to know everything. So I want to share with you a philosophical concept that will help you. I think it's actually a crucial insight into knowing how your brain works and working with this one thing here where your brain craves completeness. Well, let's say it's like 9:30 in the morning, your wife, your significant other calls you up and says, I have something really, really, really important to tell you. I can't talk now. I'll tell you when you come home. You won't believe this. And you're like, oh my goodness, you can't believe that they just did that to you, number one. But you have all these gaps. We hate not knowing. We hate being in that situation where you just don't know and then what we tend to do many times is we fill in the gaps inappropriately. We fill it in with information and it may have been something like, oh, the neighbor jumped off the roof. Hey, when you get home, it has nothing to do with anything you thought about all day. So we need to live in this wisdom of uncertainty because here's the reality. If you knew exactly what was going to happen every day, if you knew you were going to win every game, get a hole-in-one on every shot, win every bet, get every promotion, life would be really, really boring. You want to make sure that you don't fill in the gaps with false or misleading information. And Socrates' one of his most famous quotes was this: the only thing I know is that I know nothing. Okay? There's a big we seek people who know, and here's something I'll tell you. We'll talk more about this in number 5, knowledge and information. Nobody knows what you think they know. How do we live with this brain that craves completeness in situations where there's no way for us to know the completeness? Here's how you do it. Number 1, what you do is when you have a compelling vision, you are on the journey of expansion. If this vision is set into your mind, if you have these compelling vision programmed into your mind, you know from law number 2 that your brain is success driven and it will reproduce those images. But here's where the wisdom of uncertainty, you don't always know how. Okay, so the wisdom of uncertainty, the gaps are, how are you going to accomplish this? And as long as you follow law number 4 of the physical operating laws, the law of gestation, if you keep the tension between your current reality and your vision, life, the creative process will fill in the gaps for you. They will fill in the gaps for you. That's what makes life exciting. You know it's going to happen. You just don't know how. You don't know how it's all going to come together. And that's a great drama and great story of life. Here's what we got. We have an idea. We turn it into a vision. It becomes a compelling vision. And, okay, that compelling vision is in tension with current reality. You don't want to prematurely close those gaps because you don't know how the creative process is going to fill them in. Don't leave gaps I drive my wife crazy sometimes because I won't finish a sentence because it's something, my brain goes somewhere else. It drives her nuts. You do not want to leave gaps, especially in serious situations at work. Make sure you fill in the gaps. Also, don't fill in the gaps with other people too quickly. If it's somebody you haven't met, maybe they're different than you are, from a different country, don't fill in those gaps too quickly. I've been surprised many, many times. I don't fill in the gaps. In a teaching situation, what you want to do is you want to strategically place gaps to help people in the learning process. It's called heuristic learning, self-learning. How do you create a gap in their knowledge so that they go fill that in so that they learn on their own? So this is a transformative insight your brain craves.